Hello and welcome in to tonight's race here at Bristol Motor Speedway, the last great Colosseum 300, brought to you by the Donut Box Xfinity Series. Tonight we're going to have 300 action-packed short track racing laps under the lights. Should be a load of fun. Glad to have you all with us. We've got about 20 seconds left in the practice session before these drivers go to qualify. Cam Patterson quickest on the board. Logan Feschishin second, about 2/100ths off of Cam's time. Mark Parkhurst third on your board. Before we get too carried away, there are some penalties from last week's race that we should go over. The driver of the 78, Logan Feschishin, second fastest in practice, but he will have to start with a 2-lap hold due to multiple incidents on pit road last week. In the 6th car, Jordan Scherer, he has a 1-lap hold due to an incident under pacing. So those drivers will be starting in the back. Normal solo car qualifying this time. Such a short track. Don't want people spinning, tripping each other up, so everybody's going to get to go out on their own track surface first on the track. Championship favorite, points a leader. He's already locked into the next round in that 38 Red Bull Ford Mustang tonight. Not rocking the Supra as of a recent development. Must have clicked the wrong car. It's the 38 of Cam Patterson. He was fastest in practice. We'll see if he can be the fastest in qualifying as he finishes his first lap with a 14.95. Let's see if his second lap's going to be any quicker. Goes across the line. 14.882 is the pole time as of now. Logan Feschishin in that 78 machine. He just finished his second lap. About 2/10ths off of Cam Patterson's time. Tony Osborne in the number 10 machine. He's starting his qualifying effort. It's going to be the end of his first lap right there. He takes the new pole time with a 14.87. Just about a 10th faster than Cam. So he's going to sit on top of the board for now. He's definitely short track experienced. Done a lot of driving in late models. Seems like it's translating well for him tonight. We'll see if anyone can beat that time. 6th car, Jordan Scherer, he's out there right now. First lap, good enough for 4th. See if he can improve on that here on his second lap. Coming across the stripe. Good enough for 3rd with a 14.907. See the 88 Mighty Donut Machine there of Cody Moore. He's the new pole sitter. He beats Tony Osborne's time by about 2/100ths. 14.85. New pole. See the 42 car Chris Bishop. First lap, slowest on the board, finishing up his second lap, coming across the stripe. Still the slowest out there. About a second off Cody Moore's time. He's going to have to work on that one a little bit. Frank Warner done with his qualifying effort. Good enough for 5th place for now. 04 Mark Parkhurst. Sorry. Out there in that sorry Ford Mustang. I'm not insulting the Ford Mustang. He simply has a sorry paint scheme. He comes across the stripe to finish his first lap. Good enough for 7th. We'll see if he can improve. Get a little farther up the leaderboard. Finishing lap number 2 here. Good enough for 5th. He moves up into the top 5. Tyler Smith's qualifying effort is finished. He is in 10th right now. Ben Madden just finished his run. Good enough for 9th. Tyler Smith getting a little extra practice in. As we wait for qualifying to finish up, We've got a few more cars to hit the track, but we'll go ahead and go over the playoff picture. This is the last race of the round of 12. Cam Patterson and Shane Fuller are locked in. Mark Parkhurst, Cody Moore, Christian Taylor, Frank Warner have a pretty good gap at the cut line. Then you got about 5 guys fighting for the last 2 spots. Tyler Smith, Chris Bishop, Logan Festitian, Tony Osborne, and Ben Madden. We take a look at the 96 of Christian Taylor. Finishing his first lap. His time good enough for 10th. We'll see what he can do on lap number 2. He moves up to the 6th spot, just about a 10th off of the time from the 88 of Cody Moore. It's beautiful to be here at this fun track. A lot of the times when you first drive it on iRacing, if you've never done it before, you almost get a little motion sickness because, as you can see looking at that turn, that banking is nothing to joke around with. That's how you're able to keep such speed around this short little track, as the turns help you out a lot. It is a concrete track, and a lot of times with the concrete tracks, the tire wear becomes an issue. And of course, stages tonight will be at into lap 85 and into lap 170. So these drivers, if it stays green, are going to have a 130 lap run to deal with at the end. I see Danielle in the chat. Hi Danielle, thank you for tuning in as always. Hopefully everything's sounding good, looking good. We've got about 4 minutes to just hang out and chat before the race kicks off. Of course, there's one more person here, I think, that has to qualify, and we'll take a look at that 57 machine. Your winner last week, Mr. Shane Fuller. Wicked pisser, Shane Fuller. Hitting the track for his qualifying effort. Managed to take home the win, as mentioned last week at Talladega, after quite a wild ending, as he gets wild loose, or should I say wicked loose, on lap number 2. So it looks like his first lap time of a 15.002 is going to be good enough for 8th. While we've got a little bit of time to kill here, we'll go over the race info. As mentioned before, here at Bristol, we've got 300 laps on tap for you tonight. It comes out to about 160 miles or so. Track is a little bit, just slightly bigger than a half mile. It's 0.52 miles, so it comes out to about 160 miles after 300 laps. Stages are going to be at lap 85 and lap 170. Fixed setup and 1 fast repair as always. I believe it is 4 sets of tires. These drivers should have enough fuel to make it to the end of each stage. I assume they will have to pit in the final stage to at least get fuel, if not tires, because they're going to want the tires. I mean, if we're being real with each other, they're going to wear quick. Of course, the qualifying time of 14.85, good time, but those times are going to drop off quick. While we've got a few minutes here before everything kicks off, I don't want to take up too much of his time because he's an important fella around here. We'll talk to pole sitter Cody Moore. Hey Cody, it's Jesse up in the booth. You got me?
Yes, sir.
Sitting on the top of the board with a 14.85, just barely eking out your teammate Tony Osborne. How's the qualifying effort got you feeling tonight?
Pretty good, to be honest. That was the most pace I had in the car at all during practice. I made a last-minute switch on steering ratio. I'm a little worried if it's gonna pan out for the race, but it seems like it's gonna be good over a short run at least. So,
is that what you're expecting to see tonight? Is a bunch of short runs, or do you think we're gonna just have a bunch of long runs? Everybody playing it safe.
I think that the first stage is going to be pretty clean and safe. I think that depending on how it goes, you're going to start seeing some playoff guys making some moves in the second stage, especially Logan trying to get his laps back from his penalty, since he'll be starting 2 laps down and 1 point short of the cut. I think he's definitely going to be someone to watch trying to get through the field.
Yeah, it's definitely a high-stakes race, a lot of high-stakes action, and you're sitting in a good seat at the start of it with the pole. Congratulations.
Thank you much, sir.
Send him back down with his team as we get ready to get this thing going. About 10 seconds left until qualifying officially ends. And we'll go ahead and go through the grid. As it switches to the race session, the lights pop on. The sunset in the background. And we get ready to kick this thing off. As these pace laps are fairly quick, and these guys are getting ready to roll. Let's go ahead and go through your starting order. With the pole, once again, the 88 of Cody Moore next to teammate Tony Osborne in the number 10. Row 2 is going to have 38 of Cam Patterson, and it was the 6 of Jordan Shearer, but he has to drop to the back, which is going to bump the 96 of Christian Taylor up into row 2. Row 3 will be the 04 of Mark Parkhurst and the 57 of Shane Fuller. Row 4 is going to be Frank the Tank Warner and Mike Poole. Row 5, Ben Madden and Tyler Smith. With row 6, I definitely just clicked the wrong guy. Row 6 is going to have Chris Bishop. And then these two guys back here in their own little rows are going to be the 6 of Jordan Shearer and the 78 of Logan Festchician. Again, once more mentioned, serving their penalties due to the previous race. Festchician with a 2-lap hold, Jordan Shearer with a 1-lap hold. Let's get our attention back out front. Lights are off on the pace car. They're coming down the backstretch now. Get the jams out of here and get ready to crank this thing up with the first green flag of the night here from Bristol and the last great Colosseum 300. Pace car is off.
Green, green, green.
Green flag is out here at Bristol. Cody Moore leading the way so far, but he's got Cam Patterson right there on his tail early. Patterson able to get into that second spot, getting past Tony Osborne. Current running order right now is Moore, Patterson, Osborne, Parkhurst, and Fuller. Patterson, though, challenging for the lead around the outside. Cody Moore looks like he's going to let him go and save those tires. If the 38 wants to go burn him down, he can, Cody says. The penalties have been served by the 78 and the 6, as you can see, 1 lap down and 2 laps down respectively. Everybody kind of single filing out right now, trying to play it safe. Not a lot of action here early other than the pass for the lead. Got some side-by-side action here with Shane Fuller. He's going to get by the 04 Parkhurst and take that 4th position. Parkhurst letting him by no problem. And Patterson putting the pedal down early. He's up to about a 2nd lead already over everybody else. Go ahead and tell you now, though, if this thing does stay green, that's going to come back to bite the 38. He'll lose speed a lot quicker than the rest of the field, who's taking care of their tires here early. Frank Warner, that 9 car might be looking to move up here. He's right on the tail end of the 04. Of course, we look at the playoff standings once again. Frank Warner, he's 12 points above the cut. He's in a pretty good spot, but not the greatest spot. He could use some good stage points here. And it's looking pretty good for him early, sitting in 6th. Got Cam Patterson out in front, and then it's a 2-3-4 for Mighty Donut Motorsports with Shane Fuller, Tony Osborne, Cody Moore, 4th, 3rd, and 2nd. Behind them, you've got Mark Parkhurst of Team Send It, and then behind them, the 2 cars on track for Storm Motorsports tonight, Frank Warner and Christian Taylor in 6th and 7th. Challenge for 8th between Tyler Smith and Ben Madden. Smith going to make that pass fairly easily over 33, who tries to cross him over. They're back side by side going here into turn 1. Madden not giving up the spot so easily. Smith catches the wall. He's going to have to drop back. And Madden takes that spot back. Patterson's lead up to about 2.5 seconds now. Just look at this gap the 38 has. Cody Moore doing a good job. It's like watching, the Olympic marathon races, Cody Moore is like the guy at the front just kind of keeping the pace. But Cam Patterson says, screw your pace, and he's off doing his own thing. Warner was able to get by Parkhurst, it looks like, move up into that top 5. Gets into the 5th spot. Now it'll be Christian Taylor's turn in that 96 to see if he can get by the 04. The 9 also looking to the outside of the 57, who looked like he got loose there out of the corner. See if Warner's going to be able to make that pass too, riding on that high side. You see a lot of these guys sticking to the low side early. The high side can be fast, but it can also burn up some rubber. As we're 20 laps in. Cam Patterson has just put Mike Poole a lap down already. Earlier when we checked on the gap, and look at it now, just in that brief amount of time, the gap's almost doubled. Cam Patterson is absolutely flying right now. I don't know what his plan is, if it's just to get such a big lead that the tires won't matter, or what his idea is, because he's up to a 4.5 second lead right now. He's put the 42 of Chris Bishop a lap down now. Mark Parkhurst in the 04 got back by the 9 of Frank Warner to take back that spot in the top 5. 96 of Taylor under a bit of pressure from the 78 of Festischen, who is two laps down due to that penalty. It's going to be a hard climb for the 78 to get back into contention. If he's not able to make up the laps, it's likely going to be the end of the playoff run for the 78. There is a chance that we're starting to see the transition take place with the tires. Cody Moore, his previous lap, faster than the 38 of Patterson, but it seems like almost immediately after the 38 turned back on the Jets and was about 2/10 quicker than Moore the next lap. So I think the 38's just looking to prove me wrong as he continues to be the fastest on the field. A full straightaway ahead of anybody else. The 38 running away with it early, as we're going to go ahead and take our first break. We've got ourselves a caution. The 96 Christian Taylor ends up going around after we saw the 04 Parkhurst getting loose. Let's go back, take a look and see if we can see exactly what happened to the 96 here. As we go up to our drone cam here. Everybody's checking up for Mark being loose. The 33 of Madden gets into the 96. Man, those two tend to tangle often. Taylor might not be happy about that one, but it's just something that happens when it comes to the short track racing. We'll go back and take another look from Ben Madden's point of view here. Ben Madden deciding he's going to come down pit road a little early. Not sure why he's the only one to come down. Everybody else staying on track at the moment. Let's take a look from the Bristol fan cam. See what the fans see. As we're just under halfway to the end of stage 1. Stage 1 ends lap. What? What just happened? What just happened in the back of the field?
Alright, man. Light you back on the pace car. We're not going green this time. We are not going green.
I'm assuming what happened here is the 96 of Taylor have connection issues. Wipes out multiple cars. That is absolutely soul crushing to a lot of the drivers in this field, because there's a lot of real damaged cars from contact that shouldn't have actually happened. Taylor has to feel terrible about that one as soon as he found out what happened. Hearing over the race control now, we might be pacing here for a bit, giving everybody their chance to get their cars repaired. Lights are off on the pace car. Getting ready to go. Back to some green flag racing. Cam Patterson chooses the outside. Cody Moore to his inside. Row 2, Tyler Smith, Tony Osborne. Row 3, Jordan Shearer and Frank Warner.
Green, green, green.
Green flag is out once again, as we do round 2 of cranking it up. This time it's Patterson's turn. to get challenged for the lead by Cody Moore. Moore looks to the inside. Of course, the top 4 drivers here did not pit under that last caution, so they're on the same set of tires they started with. Moore able to make the pass and take the lead for the first time since the early laps. Patterson falls into second, Tyler Smith into third, although he's being challenged by the 10 of Tony Osborne for fourth. Side-by-side racing here between the 10 and the 23. Of course, the 10 of Osborne doing his usual Houdini act. 23 makes contact with him, maybe. But Tony Osborne going to take the spot for now, move into third place. Tyler Smith in fourth, but for how long? He's got the 0-4 of Parkhurst trying to make the pass on the inside, and he does. Parkhurst to fourth, Smith to fifth. Festitian there in the 78. Of course, 2 laps down, trying to get back his laps. Only car out of the race currently is the 96 of Taylor after his connection issues. But Parkhurst is on the move up through the field. He's challenging Osborne now for third. He's going to make that pass fairly easily. Festitian in the 78, he's on fresh tires. He's trying a little strategy here to try to get to drive his way through the field and hopefully get one of his laps back and catch a lucky caution. I'm not sure if these guys are able to make it on fuel to the end of the stage, but I do believe they will, as this is one of the longest races of the year. 300 laps here at Bristol, 160 miles. Quite the long race. Cody Moore doing a good job so far here after the restart, holding Cam Patterson off, and you see the 78 of Festitian there now, working on getting that lap back. If I'm Patterson in the 38, it's not worth fighting him for too long. You know, he's on fresh tires, just trying to get that lap back. And he's going to probably get by Cody Moore here. And the 78 does to put him back to 1 lap down. The 0-4 Parkhurst, as mentioned before, though, he's on the move. He's fighting for second right now with Cam Patterson. And it looks to me like he's going to be able to get the pass eventually. Although he's getting a little loose there going into the corner. Litting a little sideways off of the corner there. Able to hang on to it, though. We've got a tight battle for the lead here between 3 cars right now. Moore doing a good job so far of holding both of these drivers off. I'm sure it's not easy to do so. And there's contact between the 04 and 38. They keep it straight. Parkhurst apologizing over the radio to Patterson, but he is going to take the spot and move into second. Moore leads, Parkhurst in second, Patterson third, Osborne fourth. Then you have to go about 4 seconds back to find Shane Fuller in fifth. Rounding out the top 10, you got Tyler Smith, Frank Warner, Ben Madden, Christopher Bishop, and Jordan Scherer. If you're Logan Festitian right now, you've passed the leaders. Got yourself back to 1 lap down after starting with the penalty. And you came into this race on 1 point below the cut line. So he's 1 point out of the playoffs at the start of this race. Only thing he's hoping for right now is a caution. If they can make it to the end of the stage, lap 85, it should be fine for him. I don't think his tires will fall off that quickly. But he will have one less set than everybody else. As the battle for second picks back up again between the 04 and 38. Patterson not able to show that same speed that he did after the start of the race. I'm assuming his tires caught up to him. Parker's able to hold him off. And Cody Moore in the 88 remains your leader. Let's go ahead and ride on board with the 88. Tony Osborne in the 10 starting to sneak his way back up to this fight. And Cam Patterson continues to stay resilient and keep on trying to get that second place back. The 04 Parkhurst holds him off once again. This is your closest battle on the track by far here between these three drivers for second, third, and fourth. There is a bit of a close race a little farther back between Tyler Smith and Ben Madden for 6th and 7th. Smith able to hold on to that spot pretty securely over the 33. We've got less than 10 laps to go to the end of the stage here. Cody Moore with about a 1 second lead over Mark Parkhurst. Cam Patterson still challenging the 0-4 a little bit for the second spot, but he's sitting in third right now. Tony Osborne lurking in the shadows of the 0-4 and 38 in that fourth spot. After the 10 car, you've got to go back about 5 seconds to find the 57 of Shane Fuller, who's sitting in fourth. And then after that, it's about 1.1 seconds back to Tyler Smith, sitting in that sixth spot. He's blinking. Several drivers tonight having connection issues. Looks like we're getting to the end of the stage here. The 04 Parkhurst might be trying to pick up the pace, try to get to the back end of the 88. As we check on the 10 of Tony Osborne trying to make an attempt for third that did not work out. As now the white flag will be out for stage after this turn. Last lap of stage number 1 underway. Tony Osborne trying to make a move for third under Cam Patterson. Stays side by side down the backstretch. Will he be able to make the pass here in turns 3 and 4? Cody Moore wins the stage. Mark Parker second. Patterson third, Tony Osborne fourth. Ben Madden in the 33 sneakily gets fifth. Shane Fuller, Tyler Smith, Frank Warner, Christopher Bishop, and Mike Poole round out the top 10. Congratulations to the 88 of Cody Moore, picking up the stage win. We'll wait till he gets his pit stop finished, and then we'll have a quick word with the 88. Everybody in the field coming down except for the 78. He's going to get the wave around, put himself back on the lead lap. After that happens, he's going to have to hope for the caution, though. My apologies. Because of the 84 of Poole Pit, Fishchishin able to get the lucky dog. So he will be back on the lead lap and still have a chance to pit if he so wants to. But let's have ourselves a word with the Stage 1 winner. We talked to him after winning the pole. Cody, it's Jesse up in the booth. You got me?
Yes, sir.
Well, we talked to you after you got the pole. Now you won Stage 1 after it looked like Cam Patterson was trying to invent his whole new racetrack there in the first part of Stage 1. About a half a track ahead of everybody before we had that first yellow. But you were able to get him back after the restart and hold on to the lead the rest of the way. How does it feel?
Car feels really good. It's finally getting to the feel I want it to have at this race. I'm hoping that the track doesn't change too much because I really like the way it's running right now. I don't know, man. I don't know that I got enough for Cam. I think that the advantage I had was that he got in a battle there with the 04 and it made them both burn the tires up. So I was able to save mine a little bit and hold on just long enough. So.
Well, I don't know when you're going to be choosing here, but congratulations to you. I guess it'll be now, so we're going one lap to green. But congratulations on the Stage 1 win to you, Mr. Cody Moore.
Thank you, sir.
Send him back down. He's going to choose the inside. Ben Madden, first car on the outside. Row 2 is going to be Parkhurst and Patterson. Row 3, Fuller and Osborne. Row 4, Warner and Smith. Christopher Bishop. And then Logan Fishchishin in the 78. Fighting back after his penalties. Finds himself back on the lead lap with Mike Poole and Jordan Shearer. Both 2 laps down. But the pace car is off. Green flag is back out here at Bristol. Not sure what happened to Cody Moore. If he restarted in 4th or what happened, but Ben Madden able to get a good jump. He finds himself out to the lead. Patterson was thinking about going underneath Madden there. Didn't quite do it, but he gets by the 88 as well as the 04 also gets by the 88. And Cam Patterson already fighting for the lead once again. He's going to get it fairly easily, it looks like, here over Ben Madden, and he does. We'll see if that 38 machine plans on doing the same thing he did last time, which is just absolutely stretched out to a massive lead. Of course, Ben Madden in that 33, he's fighting for his playoff life, comes into this race 6 points below the cut. With Christian Taylor's connection issues, potentially a spot opens up for somebody in that round of 8. Parkhurst to the inside of Madden for second, and then he makes the pass. Madden falls back to third. Side-by-side action going on back here with Osborne, Smith, and Warner. It's going to be for 6th, 7th, and 8th. Warner looking to get that 7th spot away from the 23. Close race in there between the 23 and the 9. No contact. Now the 23 It's to the outside of the 10 car. He's trying to take that 6th spot away just when he was in danger of going back to 8th. Again, using that high side, it is quick. He's able to make the pass on the 10, move up into that 6th spot. I will say, so far, I am noticing a difference from stage 1 from Cam Patterson. He hasn't grown the mega lead that he did before. I think part of the difference might be the 0-4 of Parkhurst was able to get into 2nd. And instead of setting his own pace, he's going to try the strategy of keeping up with the 38 and see who can drive better with saving the tires. Just a refresher on your whole running order right there is the 38 in 1st, the 0-4 of Parkhurst in 2nd. Ben Madden continues to hold on to 3rd. He's got a bit of a no man's land right now. Shane Fuller in the 57 has moved up into the 4th spot with Cody Moore in 5th. Again, Tyler Smith 6th, Frank Warner into that 7th spot around Tony Osborne, who is in 8th. Logan Festchischen in 9th, and Jordan Shearer is a lap down. So we go back to the 42 of Christopher Bishop for 10th. Jordan Shearer and Mike Poole 1 lap down each, and Christian Taylor out of this race. In an attempt to save my voice through the next 200 laps we've got on tap, I'm going to go ahead and take myself another break. I'll be back with you if we have any action. Thank you again for tuning in. If you're here, hit that like button. Helps get the stream out to potentially new people. If you're enjoying it so much you want to catch every race, hit that subscribe button and hit that notification bell. Gets you easy ways to find each new stream and each new video. as I am now back with you guys. Cam Patterson still out in the lead. Parkhurst able to keep it close there for a while, but now the lead is up to about 1.5 seconds over the 0-4 Parkhurst in second there. Patterson showing us more of the start of stage number 1. He has the speed tonight. It'll be interesting to see if he's still able to keep this gap once we get to the end of lap 170, and I won't be surprised if he's able to. You have to go back basically half the track, all the way 6.3 seconds back from Mark Parkhurst is Cody Moore in third. Frank Warner in the 9 finds himself in fourth. Shane Fuller has slipped back to fifth. Sixth and seventh, you've got two Mighty Donut Motorsports teammates there, Tony Osborne and Logan Festitian. Go quite a ways back to eighth is Tyler Smith, and then behind him, the 33 of Ben Madden. Jordan Shearer, lap down, sits in 10th. Mike Poole, 11th, and Christopher Bishop, 3 laps down after making a pit stop 8 laps ago, finds himself in 12th. As we continue to see the 38 run his own race whenever he's able to get out and clear traffic. You can hear how he's just being gentle on the gas out of the corners to take care of them tires, and not very much wheel input at all. The more you turn the wheel, the more that right front tire is going to hate you, and he's doing a good job of saving it right now. Well, we've reached this kind of a lull here in the race. Let's go ahead and show you what happened, who finished where last week. Just as a reminder, Shane Fuller picking up, I believe, either his third or fourth race win on the season. I think his third. Could have been his fourth. I should probably know, but I can't remember. But he got the win last week after being the only driver to get away from a white flag wreck cleanly. Frank Warner finished second, Jordan Shearer third, Andy Lewis comes in fourth, Mark Parkhurst fifth, Ryan Castleberry, Rick Wilmot, Cam Patterson, Christian Taylor, Tyler Smith rounded out the top 10. Speaking of top 10, the top 10 challenge found another victim. Going into last week, Andy Lewis, Cam Patterson, and Chris Bishop were all in the running. Bishop finishes out of the top 10 at Talladega, so with 5 races left in the season, the top 10 challenge, the final top 10 challenge of season 2 comes to a close, and it'll be a battle between Andy Lewis and Cam Patterson. However, not all that much of a battle. Andy Lewis not here tonight. So your winner of the third top 10 challenge and every top 10 challenge so far is going to be the 38 of Cam Patterson. It's locked in. If he does manage to win this stage and we end up chatting with him, we'll have to let him know. Mark Parkhurst has about a 1.1 second gap to Cam Patterson there. He's been doing a good job about maintaining his pace. He's kept the gap about the same, but that won't be good enough to be able to win this stage. He's got to start cutting into that gap little by little as we're getting closer and closer to the end of the stage. So he's got to start making some gains, because before we know it, it'll be lap 170. There's only a little over 30 laps until the end of stage number 2. Cody Moore sitting in third. He won the first stage, but right now he is about 6 seconds back from second place, Mark Parkhurst. Frank Warner there behind him in fourth, about 1 second back. Of course, Warner fourth. Shane Fuller still holds in that fifth spot with Tony Osborne in sixth. I don't believe we've had a running order change since the last update, but Logan Festitian continues to hold on to seventh. Tyler Smith in eighth. Ben Madden in the 33, he finds himself a lap down now. Tyler Smith about to follow that same fate. Jordan Shearer and Mike Poole both 1 lap down. Christopher Bishop has now fallen to 4 laps down after his pit stop. And Mike Poole under threat to be put 2 laps down. Not a good night for off-camber racing. Both their drivers soon to be multiple laps down. With this traffic, though, these guys side by side in front of him, Parkhurst is using that to his advantage. Down to about 0.3 of a second now for the race to lead with 25 to go in the stage or so. Tyler Smith 1 lap down. But Parkhurst is right on the back door now. That was all he needed to get his hat back in the race for this stage 1 win. Or stage 2 win. As we'll ride on board with the 04. Actually, we'll ride on board with the 38. Parkhurst falls back, no longer side by side for the race lead. Mike Poole, using the distraction to his advantage, he's ran away from these two a little bit to keep himself only 1 lap down. 20 or so laps to go in stage number 2. Patterson trying his best to hold on to the lead. Parkhurst actually into the wall hard there, it looked like. That can't have been good for the car. We'll see if he can avoid that going forward. He doesn't have to say sorry to the car says sorry all over it, as we're officially halfway in tonight's race. Thank you again for tuning in. It's been uneventful and eventful at the same time. 1 caution in stage number 1. Unfortunately, the driver involved in the caution then had connection issues and ended up plowing through a few drivers that he could not see on his end. That's why the 96 of Christian Taylor is out of this race. We'll call it mechanical problems. Sounds like a good way to explain it. As these laps are ticking down quick, Cody Moore's cut into the gap between first and second and then third, but I don't think it's going to be nearly enough. Shane Fuller in the 57 has moved up into fourth. Frank Warner drops into fifth. Tony Osborne still in sixth. Logan Festitian still seventh. As we get ready to come up onto 10 laps to go for the stage, this is the closest battle on the track for position. Cody Moore and Shane Fuller are pretty close for third and fourth, but not as close as these two are. Fighting for that stage win. Mike Poole might not be able to prolong his fate this time, as he finds himself right in front of Cam Patterson to potentially go another lap down. Patterson does get by the 84, and the 04 Parkhurst also gets by him. Parkhurst driving the wheels off this thing. Parkhurst tries the low line to try to take the lead with 8 laps to go in stage number 2. Will he be able to clear the 38? We'll just have to wait and see. He stays side by side with him. Giving it his best shot here on the low line. It seems like the low line's preferred earlier on in the run, but as the tires get more and more wear, it seems like that high side gets more and more preferred. Patterson able to hold the 04 off again. Parkhurst not going to give up easily though. About 4 laps to go in stage number 2. We'll check back in on this battle in just a second, but let's check on the fight for third between two teammates, Shane Fuller, Cody Moore. Fuller and Moore just about on the same pace right now, running almost equal lap times the previous lap. As the gap of the battle for the lead has increased now to about a little under half a second. Not sure if Parkhurst has enough left in the tank to challenge the 38 once again. Able to gain a lot back though that last lap. We might have ourselves a battle still. Whoa, the 04 Parkhurst got loose. Able to keep it going, but he is driving the wheels off that thing. On the backstretch now, white flag for the stage is out. Can he challenge the 38? He's not able to. Cam Patterson wins stage number 2, Parkhurst in second. Moore and Fuller third and fourth. Tony Osborne 5th, Frank Warner 6th. Logan Festchician 7th. 8th goes to Tyler Smith. 9th, Ben Madden. 10th to Jordan Shearer. Those are your stage number 2 results. Patterson putting the pedal down early in stage number 1, getting out to a big lead. This time he had Mark Parkhurst challenging him. As we watch the potential race off of pit road. Once we see Cam Patterson back out on the track, we'll go ahead and have a word with him. But Parkhurst wins the race off of pit road. Patterson comes out of pit road second. Let's go ahead and talk to Cam Patterson. Cam, it's Jesse up in the booth. You got me?
Yes, I do.
Well, after you got out to the lead by a country mile on stage 1, and then we had a caution that kind of set that back, you avenged that in stage number 2, getting out to another big lead and end up taking the stage 2 win. How's it feel?
Feels pretty good. I saw towards the end that Cody was catching up to me because he is a little bit slower in that opening stages, obviously due to a tire saving. And I was worrying that the car was going to fall off way more than it did. So it did feel pretty good in that, I'd say that was like a 70 to 80 lap run on just pure tire, on just one set of tires. First stage felt good as well, but that caution definitely did not do well for me. But it was also really fun battling Mark as well. He's a great driver. So yeah, it felt pretty good.
Speaking of Mark, it definitely looks like he has the potential to give you a pretty fair challenge in this last stage. He kept up with you pretty good there. You have any worries about him starting in front of you this time around?
A little bit of worries, but I'll find a way around him and go home in victory lane.
All right, well, before we go green, I do want to say one more thing. With Andy Lewis not showing up tonight, you officially have won every top 10 challenge we have done this year.
Nice. I'll take those $10. No, I'm just kidding. You don't have to keep him in $10.
Well, I will anyways. You're about to go green. I'm going to let you go.
Thank you.
Cam Patterson, stage 2 winner. Pace car already off. Everything is happening so quickly. Green flag is back out. Parkhurst gets a good jump on the 88 of Moore. Moore falls into second place. Is it Parkhurst's turn to get out to a massive lead this time? Cam Patterson kind of boxed in here between three Mighty Donut machines of Moore, Fuller, and Osborne. Fuller spins, able to not have contact with anybody. That looked like it happened all on his own, but we'll go back and double check. That kind of came out of nowhere. Let's go back and see with our beautiful drone camera what happened to Fuller if he just got loose. Yeah, and that's all it was. A little too hot going into the corner, and that was enough. Let's ride on board with the 9-car Warner. Ben Madden gonna get the wave around here. As we have our second caution of the evening here at Bristol. Let's have a quick word while we've got the time. Let's have a chat with the current leader, Mark Parkhurst. Hey, Mark, it's Jesse up in the booth. You got me?
I gotcha.
Well, you had pretty good finish there in stage number 2, coming in second, and then you won the race off pit road and find yourself out here in the lead. How does it feel right now in the final stage?
Right now it's feeling pretty good. I just couldn't get around Cam there. He was holding that high side, and I couldn't get nothing on the bottom with the worn tires. But my headset's telling me low battery, about 100 laps to go, so I'm hoping it lasts the next 122.
Yeah, I don't know if it will. I wish you luck there for sure. I imagine you're getting ready to choose here, but I just wanted to chat with you real quick while you're in the lead and see how's it feeling.
Alright, I appreciate it to my little entourage watching. I got some fans tonight, so shout out to them. Hope they're enjoying the show.
Absolutely. Well, I'm sure they'll be glad to cheer you on and cheer on Team Senate here as you hang out all by yourself in Discord with your low battery.
Yeah, I'm hoping it lasts, man. I
Good
found
luck.
every way to lose a race in this league, but I haven't found that way yet.
There's always new ways, brother. All right, that was the 04 Parkhurst. I will say, it'll be really impressive to come away with the race win while not being able to hear anything. As the pace car dips off once again, we hop up in the flag stand for the restart. Unfortunately for Parkhurst, Cam Patterson got a much better start that time. He's probably going to try to breathe down the neck of Parkhurst here early. As they're side by side back here in the back, this is Tyler Smith and Frank Warner battling for 5th. Neither driver willing to give up the spot just yet. Looks like Warner going to be able to clear the 23 and move up into the top 5. Smith now under pressure from the 57 of Fuller. Of course, Shane Fuller, unfortunately for him, being the driver that spun that last caution, trying to make his way back up through the field. As Parkhurst continues to lead the way, Patterson cutting into that lead, but Tyler Smith, oh man, super late hit there for Mike Poole, and that's not the direction that Tyler Smith's car should be facing. That is what we call crab walking for the 23 there. Let's go back and see exactly what happened. Hop up in the drone cam. See if there's contact or if the 23 simply got loose. He does just get loose. Tries to save it, ends up in the middle of the track. Bishop able to get by. Poole nowhere to go. We'll take a look at that from the onboard of the 84. Wham! The 84 couldn't see him till the last second, then didn't have enough time to react. He sits on pit road now, likely repairing damage. As we find ourselves under caution once again, I'm going to go ahead and take a quick break and be back with you for the restart. Because we are already 1 to green. Let's do a little something special here for this restart. Let's ride on board with the 88 machine, Cody Moore.
Green, green, green.
While we were riding along with the 88 there, I had a fly in my room become a victim of these hands. I had to take him out. He's trying to fly too close to my grill. But anyways, Parkhurst was finding himself out to a big lead, gets stuck in the fence, and that opens the door for the 38. Is that a commentator's curse or what? As soon as I cut the camera to him, his car just gets stuck in the wall like glue. The 88 of Cody Moore trying to get by him as well now. Not going to be able to do it. He smartly falls back into tire save mode. And Parkhurst immediately goes back into trying to take back the race lead, it looks like. Trying to go to the inside of the 38. I just thought about something. If Mark Parkhurst ends up losing audio and he finishes in the top 3, that's going to be a rough interview. Hopefully he has a little bit of time to plug that baby in and get a little bit of a charge so he can at least talk to us. But Patterson out of the lead now. Parker second, Cody Moore third, Shane Fuller fourth, Logan Fischischen fifth with 100 laps to go. We'll go ahead and refresh on the playoff picture. Of course, these numbers are from the start of the race. They're not accurate to now, but going into this race, Fischischen 1 point below the cut, having to deal with an early on penalty from last week's race. I'd say running fifth right now. His playoff hopes are still alive. As for the 96 of Taylor, not scoring any stage points tonight due to connection issues. He was only 17 points above the cut. He might be out. If that is the case, that opens up the spot for Fischischen. And the 10 of Tony Osborne, sitting in 10th in this picture, has had a lot better race than the 42 of Chris Bishop. So he might have found his way into the playoffs, as he's currently running in 6th, Bishop in 10th. Your top 6 right now, all within a second of each other. This is the closest group of cars near the front that we've had all night. Everybody trying to hold on to those Goodyear Eagles as long as they can. We've still got 94 laps to go. These drivers, most of them last pit around 35 laps ago. So they are likely going to have to come down at least one more time for fuel. And honestly, speaking from my little bit of Bristol experience, you're probably going to want to take tires when you come down, because after a good bit of laps and things, some puppies start to hurt a little bit. So the question is, how long do you hold out to pit? If you want to get tires in your pit stop, you want to pit as early as you can, so that way you have the best advantage you can get on the fresh tires. The only problem with that is the fact that if there is a caution and you have already pitted, but not everyone has, you can find yourself trapped multiple laps down very easily here. And you're thinking to yourself, well, pit stop only takes about 14 seconds to change if you're getting fuel and changing tires. Well, Cam Patterson's last lap was a 15.48. So each lap only takes about as long as it does to change tires and fuel. You combine that with your time getting on pit road, it's very easy to fall 2 laps down under a pit stop, possibly 3. you see the 88 of Cody Moore getting loose. He's going to lose a couple spots to two of his teammates, the 57 and the 78. But back to the strategy talk. If somebody is willing to gamble, I'll make an example here. We'll look at our playoff picture again. You see Ben Madden there. He's 6 points below the cut. Not sure if he's made up enough points. Speaking of the 33, he's actually spun. The race stays green, but Ben Madden, I think yet another commentator's curse. As soon as I say his name, I see his car on my track map super slow. Let's see if we can go back and see what happens. He's coming out of turn number 4, loses grip, ends up hitting the inside wall. He was on the opposite side of the track from the leaders, which is why no caution came out, which it probably should have. But anyways, we stay green, and Ben Madden now finds himself a lap down. And honestly, I haven't done the math, but if I look at the playoff picture once again, Christian Taylor probably has dropped out of the top 8. Logan Fishchishin and Tony Osborne as of right now are outperforming the 42 of Chris Bishop, who was only 1 point above the cut. I think our playoff field might be locked. I think Fishchishin and Osborne might be in, and I think Taylor and Bishop might be out. Of course, there's still 78 laps to go. Anything can happen. But if I were to make a prediction on how the standings will turn out after this race, that would be it. Speaking of doing the job needed to find yourself into the next round of the playoffs, Fishchishin has bounced back from that penalty at the start of this race. He's currently running in second place right now. He is having the drive of his life to keep his hopes alive in the round of 8 right now. The current running order is Patterson, leading by about 2 seconds over the 78 of Fishchishin in second. Shane Fuller right there in the 57 runs third. Mark Parkhurst in the 04 still in fourth, with Cody Moore fifth. Tony Osborne in sixth. The 9 of Frank Warner in 7th place, with the 6 of Jordan Shearer in 8th. Ben Madden in 9th, 1 lap down. The 42 car, Chris Bishop, is in 10th place right now, 5 laps down. The 23 of Tyler Smith and the 84 of Mike Poole on pit road getting repairs, and Christian Taylor out of this race. You look up at the top left and you see that we have 72 laps to go. You might think that's going to take a while. If this puppy stays green, it will not take a while. If we finish this race under green flag conditions, it's only going to take us about 18 more minutes to get through this race. As you do about 4 laps a minute. Only takes you about 5 minutes to do 20 laps. Fastest car on the track that last lap was the 9 of Frank Warner. He was about 1/10 and a half faster than your leader in the 38 car. Let's ride on board with the number 9. battle is heating up right now. This is your battle for third. Shane Fuller, Mark Parker side by side right now. Both cars getting a little loose off the corner. It looks like Parkhurst is going to be able to fight off the 57 car for now. Fuller not quite giving up yet, though. Patterson's lead up to about 2.5 seconds now over the rest of the field. And it's definitely starting to get crowded here around this second spot. Festchischen holds on to it for now, but just off the eye test, it looks like he's starting to slow down compared to the guys behind him. And the 04 Parkhurst, he's realizing it too. He's trying to make that pass. He's trying to put that 78 in between him and the rest of the guys behind him right now. But will he be able to get it done? Again, old tires on the low line. It's hard to make a pass here. A lot of the times you have to have a real speed difference to be able to get it done, as those drivers almost touch there. But the 04 Parkhurst gets the pass done, finds himself back in second place. With 61 laps to go and pit stops still to happen for this field, you begin to wonder, as mentioned earlier, who's going to be the first one to break the ice. It's a bit of a gamble, because you don't want to be the first one to come down pit road and then there be a yellow flag and you end up trapped laps down. It pretty much will seal your fate. I was going to use Ben Madden as the example before I gave him the commentator's curse. Someone like Ben, who came into this race 6 points below the cut line, could have used those fresh tires, as the 78 car is going to be the first one to come down. 04 actually comes down pit road. 78, the 9, and the 10. You have 4 cars hitting pit road with 57 laps to go. Will it be a 4-tire stop? Frank Warner misses his box by a little bit. That's going to cost him a few seconds. Festchischen with 4 tires. Parkhurst 4 tires. Parkhurst does win the race off pit road between those two drivers. And no one else has come down yet. Patterson has continued to stay out. And he likely will stay out as long as possible. Parker's going to be able to unlap himself fairly easily here. That puts the 04 back to 1 lap down. Patterson in the 38 does come down pit road now. It's going to let the 57 of Shane Fuller take over the lead for the first time tonight. His teammate Cody Moore also takes over second. How long will these two drivers stay out? Jordan Shearer in the 6 car is the only other car left on pit, or not to come down pit road, that is on the lead lap. Just goes to show you those fresh tires. The 04 gets past the 38 off of pit road, about a straightaway ahead of the 38. And there was only about a 2-lap difference between their pit stops. Shane Fuller continues to stay out. Frank Warner looking to unlap himself here, put himself only 1 lap down. And the 57 of Fuller and the 88 of Moore will come down pit road this time. It's going to let the 6 of Sure take over the lead. He's going to be the last driver to pit. Parkhurst getting his lap back. Parkhurst actually now back on the lead lap. Just to tell you the speed difference, Jordan Scher's last lap was a 16.51. Parkhurst's last lap was a 15.26, a whole second and 1.3 seconds quicker. Festischen in that 78 car right there in third with the best lap of the race, his previous lap of 14.97. Absolutely flying right now. Jordan Scher continues to stay out and lead laps. And something must have happened to the 38 of Cam Patterson. He must have gotten loose at some point, because before he was about a straightaway behind the 04 of Parkhurst. And now the 04 Parkhurst is less than a straightaway behind him. I'm not sure exactly what happened to the 38, but he is no longer, in my opinion, in contention for this race win if this thing stays green. Jordan Scher now finds himself on pit road, which is going to let Parkhurst re-inherit the lead. Festischen in the 78 in second. Still 39 laps to go in this race, but in my opinion, there's only two drivers with a realistic chance right now, and that's the 04 and the 78. They were the first two drivers to come down pit road, and they find themselves the only two drivers, in my opinion, with a shot at the win here. Frank Warner is in third, but Warner finds himself 7 seconds back from the lead right now. In order for him to catch the leaders with 36 laps to go, he'd be having to run about half a second faster per lap, and that's simply not happening right now. Or I'm sorry, about a quarter of a second faster per lap. Let's go ahead and ride on board with the 78 of Festischen as he tries to cut into the 04's lead. As we check out the fight for third starting to heat up between Tony Osborne and Frank Warner. These two drivers pit on the same lap, but Tony Osborne has been showing a bit better long run speed. He makes the pass now and moves up into third place over Frank Warner. Current running order, just to refresh, the 04 of Mark Parker's with about a 1.8 second lead over second place Logan Festitian. You have to go about 7 seconds back to find the 10 of Tony Osborne, the family man, blinking along. Frank Warner in 4th, Shane Fuller 5th, Cody Moore in 6th place, Cam Patterson in 7th, Jordan Shearer 1 lap down in 8th, Ben Madden in 9th, currently 3 laps down, and Chris Bishop in the 42 car is in 10th place, 7 laps down. Tyler Smith and Christian Taylor out of this race, and Mike Poole still on pit road. Something must have happened to the 9 of Warner. That or his tires are just falling off that quick, but he was passed by Shane Fuller, and Cody Moore finds himself back in 6th place now. And with 23 laps to go, Mark Parkhurst trying his best to run away with this thing. We'll compare the 04 and the 78's lap times across the stripe here. Festitian about a 10th faster that last time. Parkhurst with a 15.698 and Festitian with a 15.604. This lap, Parkhurst with a 15.55 and Logan with a 15.66. So that 10th he gained the previous lap, he lost. Shane Fuller in the 57 seems to be settling himself pretty comfortably into 3rd place. But it's anybody's fight for 6th still. It's Tony Osborne, Cody Moore, Frank Warner, Cam Patterson all fighting for that 4th spot. Osborne getting himself a bit of a gap to the 88. Patterson able to get by Warner. He's going to try to get by Cody Moore here soon, I'm sure. I gotta say, there's not many leagues out there that you'll see green flag stops happen at Bristol. This group of drivers here in the Donut Box Xfinity Series have had clean races all year. That trend has continued tonight. We've only had 3 cautions through 284 laps. Cody Moore getting more under fire every lap from the 38 of Patterson, who now looks low to make the pass for 5th. Four laps, or 14 to go here. Cody Moore able to hold him off there. Hold off that challenge and hold on to the top 5 for now. Parker's lead has grown now to about 2.5 seconds over the 78 car of Festitian. I will say, with 13 laps to go, the 78 of Festitian has had an almost perfect race. The only way it could have been more perfect is if he would have found a way to win, but to start the race immediately at a disadvantage, having a 2-lap hold from the previous race, to fight his way back, have pretty much perfect strategy to get his way back on the lead lap, and then find himself running second here with 11 laps to go. He's got to feel good about this race. Coming into the race below the cut line. More than likely. In fact, I'm almost sure he's going to come out a round of 8 driver. Of course, Cam Patterson, Shane Fuller locked into the round of 8 via wins. Parkhurst, the 0-4, was the next best on points. He finds himself likely winning this race, barring disaster. Cody Moore winning stage 1, having a good run in stage 2. He's pretty much locked into the round of 8. Franklin Warner has been consistent. Tyler Smith came into this race 8 points above the cut line. Had decent stage finishes. He currently finds himself in 11th out of this race. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with the 23. But if I had to guess, I think he got enough stage points more than likely to get himself a spot into the round of 8. But we won't know until next week. 4 laps to go here. A bit of a battle starting to brew here for 4th between these two teammates, Tony Osborne and Cody Moore. You have to wonder if there's some team orders potentially, you know, just to ensure Tony Osborne can get his way in. Cody Moore might not try as hard as he normally would to make the pass here on the 10. But we've got 2 laps to go here. 0-4 Parkhurst with about a 4-second lead as he comes around to get the white flag here at Bristol. In the last great Colosseum 300, white flag is out. Parkhurst onto the backstretch. He's got 2 more corners to go. And the 0-4 of Parkhurst, he's going to take the checkered flag, get the win here tonight at Bristol. Logan Fish-Chisholm gets 2nd. Shane Fuller 3rd. Tony Osborne 4th. Cody Moore 5th. 6th goes to Cam Patterson. 7th to Frank Warner. 8th to Jordan Shearer. 9th to Ben Madden. And 10th to the 42 of Chris Bishop. Just now receiving word the reason Cam Patterson ended up so far behind at the end of the green flag pit stops. When he was exiting pit road, he exited pit road unsafely, so he had a drive-through. As we watch the 0-4 of Parkhurst burn it down. He's going to park it up on the straightaway. Let's go ahead and chat with the man in the 57 machine. We talked to him once or twice last week, especially after he came away with the win at Talladega. Let's see what's on Mr. 57 Shane Fuller's mind. Shane, it's Jesse up in the booth. You got a copy?
What's up, buddy?
Man, getting interviewed at the end of the race back-to-back. Had the win last week at Dega. Come in here, get on the podium with a 3rd place finish after some green flag stops here at the final stage. How's it feel to be on the podium?
Surprised. Honestly, it was kind of a struggle all night. We're just trying to play fuel strategy with the 1st and 2nd stage, make sure we had enough to get through the stages there, and then decided that I wanted to loop it around there on one of the restarts, and came in, took a extra set of tires. So if we would have had a yellow there in this last 50 laps there, it would have been in big trouble. So glad I went green and can come back with a podium finish.
Yeah, I was gonna say you You didn't have as much adversity as your teammate there in front of you in the 78 tonight, but you had a little bit. You had that one spin there in the that was in the final stage, wasn't it? That wasn't in stage 2.
Yeah, I think it was. I think it was the final stage. I got a little too aggressive. I always do it. I don't know why. They can't remember that, but I always do that. So I gotta work on that.
Well, I mean, it worked out pretty decently for you here in the end, coming away in 3rd place. Someone's engine just exploded. Not sure whose that was. Probably Mark's, if I had to guess. But
you don't need that.
No, he's won. He gets to destroy it, so that way they can inspect it in post-race tech to see if there was anything illegal. It's all part of the plan.
Right.
But anyways,
that's right.
Coming away with 3rd tonight. You got any shout-outs you want to make tonight?
First shout out goes to Logan. Good for him coming back, trying to battle it out there and get a P2. He really needed the points tonight, so we'll see how that shakes out for the playoffs here. So proud of him doing that. Everyone tonight at MDM did a really good job trying to salvage everything that we can and get everyone into position for these playoffs. Congratulations to Mark. Thank you and Cody for, you doing the broadcast, and Cody for putting the league on, and anybody else that does all the admin stuff. And thank you for Christian Taylor for plowing through the field there at one point. I kid because I care. No, that was unfortunate. I
do not
with the win
want
last
to be
week
inside his head in that moment once he realized when he can't see any cars what he had just done to the race, but
I just heard Ben yell out, and I was like, "What's going on?" And as soon as I looked in my mirror, I just see this plow coming. I'm like, "Oh no!" I didn't have time to react, but luckily with last week's win, I didn't really need to do much in this race, so I had the fast repair. It wasn't a big deal. I know it was a technical issue, so I'm just making fun and having a little fun there with them on that one, But yeah, I mean, thanks for everyone for watching too. Hopefully it was a good show, and we'll go on next week to Watkins Glen and see what we can put together there for the next round.
Yeah, absolutely. A quick 30-second side story for you relating to the connection issues like that. My first ever race that I race controlled, I had a driver who lost connection similar to Christian did, and had no idea that he had lost connection and ended up plowing through about 3 or 4 people on his way into pit road. When I then subsequently disqualified that driver and was then told that I was a terrible race control for disqualifying him.
I do remember that. I remember that story.
Once he saw the replay, he was pretty quick to apologize, but it was a very funny moment for getting yelled at after he had unknowingly murdered 3 cars.
It's so good. Nah, you do a hell of a job. Don't worry about what anybody says.
Well, I appreciate it. And again, congrats on the podium for you tonight.
All right, thank you. And good night, everybody. Thank you.
Let's go ahead and get the young man in the 78. He's not legally old enough to drink, but he might be sneaking something tonight to celebrate that hell of a drive that he had to get to second tonight. Logan, it's Jesse up in the booth. You got a copy?
I got you.
What? How? So let's start from the beginning, right?
Uh-huh.
You start the race out with a 2-lap hold due to some incidents at Talladega. You play pretty much the perfect strategy to get yourself back onto the lead lap before... Like, at the end of stage 1, you were back on the lead lap, right?
Uh-huh.
And to fight your way back to get second, just tell me how it feels, man.
It feels great. I don't really... Well, I know what happened in stage 1. When that caution came out, I knew I was fast, but wasn't fast enough to catch Cam and pass him to get a lap back. So I had an aha moment. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to regret, or I'm going to pay for it later, but I'll take tires now and see if I can drive past him, and I was able to do that. Cody was actually in the lead at the time. And then, that caution came out, and I think Mike and Jordan accidentally pit and lost the Lucky Dogs. So I kind of got rather excited for a moment when I saw Lucky Dog pop up on my screen. That got me onto the lead lap.
I wasn't able to score stage 1 points, but I was able to get a decent. I believe I was 7th at the end of stage 2, and then I knew I had speed coming into this. I was P2 I believe P2 at the end of practice, and I was confident. Obviously, the 2 laps down was a bit of a disadvantage, but I was able to get it past that on strategy. I was hoping I had some more from Mark at the end. I knew the run before the green flag stop, I was able to catch him because I was a little faster mid-run. His car kept getting in the wall, and I burnt out my tires early, just psychological games at that point, and he was able to get away. But I'm very happy, and I think it was enough. I'm fingers crossed. I think it was enough to lock into the round of 8.
Yeah, my mental math thinks it should be. Obviously, no promises, but I imagine the 96 of Taylor with his unfortunate internet issues is likely out.
And then Tyler Smith was the next one ahead. I know I might have been in front of Tony Osborne in the points.
I feel like you likely also outpointed Chris Bishop, which he came in 1 point ahead of you. So I think you got yourself into the round of 8 with an incredible drive tonight.
Yeah, I will once again be on the tail end of a penalty. Next week, I accidentally messed up a choose, trying to figure out strategy. So I'll be at the end of the line at my home track at Watkins Glen, but I'm hoping to compete for a win at Watkins Glen as well. I love that track.
Well, if I had a easy soundboard access, whenever you said that you were going to have another penalty, I would have played that womp 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 sound. But obviously,
next week it's only going to be the EOL. This week I came back from a 2 laps, and I'm not trying to get cocky. Sorry.
Yeah, just be careful what you say. Don't if you start bragging, they'll be like, "Oh, the 2 lap wasn't enough. How about we go 3?" And then that's when the panic sets in.
Between. Yeah.
But anyways, absolute great drive from you tonight. You got any shout outs you want to make tonight?
I do. Shout out to all my teammates over at Mighty Donut Motorsports. There's a really good teamwork environment over there. Me and Cody were able to work together pre-race and figure out a strategy. Obviously, it's Bristol, anything could happen. But we were able to get it laid out, so I had a confident plan to go into. Thank you to my mom. I know for putting up with my BS. I think she's gonna be watching the stream tomorrow because Bristol's a special track for us. And yeah, thank you to my teammate Shane Fuller. Apologies to 2 of my teammates from last week. That happened. But yeah.
Yeah, we won't
Nothing
talk about it anymore.
I don't know what
you
you're
bounce
talking
back
about.
from it. You're good to go.
All right. I hope to talk to you next week too.
Absolutely. Continuing the strong run from this week. Hopefully you can carry that momentum on into the round of 8 as a playoff driver. Congratulations on the P2, Mr. Logan Festchischen.
Absolutely. Thank you, sir.
That leaves us one more man to talk to. Sorry. Mark Parker's in that 0-4. Let's see if he can hear us or if that headset is dead. It'd be a real awkward interview if he can't hear us. Marcus, Jesse, do you got a copy?
I got you, buddy.
You got me? How much battery life we got left? Did you give it any charge, or we got to get through this thing before it dies on you?
We got to get through this. I haven't heard any more beeps, so I think we're good for like at least 5-10 minutes here. However much you got to say, however long you want to talk. I got time.
I got to ask, do you have a HyperX headset like myself?
I do.
Yeah, so I probably have a similar one to you where it'll beep at you 19 times at the beginning, and then you won't hear anything again until it abruptly shuts off. So it could happen at any moment. But
yep, well, I get to the checkered flag. Honestly, it's all I care.
there you go. So coming away with the win, I think it all comes down to you winning that race off of pit road there, starting out the final stage. So talk me through that. You ended up having to make a green flag stop. You made what turned out to be the right call to be the first car down pit road. Just kind of talk me through your thoughts there in that final stage.
It was pretty straightforward. Just stay in front of Cam. I made one slight mistake at the start of the stage, and he got back in front of me, and I knew I had to do something with a strategy. The fact he kind of overcooked his pit exit helped me out a ton, I'm not going to lie. I was hoping to race him there to the end, but once I realized he had to come back in, it was just try to preserve the car, stay in front of Logan, not make any mistakes, and just cruise it to the checker flag.
Yeah, absolutely. I do remember that what you were talking to when your car got stuck in the glue trap that can be the outside wall through the corner. Sometimes it just bounces off of it here, and then unfortunately that thing just caught you and grabbed a hold of you, but you were able to fight back through that. And again, making the perfect pit road call to come down first. I think I talked through it on the stream is if you're willing to make the bet that it's going to stay green, being that first car down pit road is a way to really gain an advantage. And it definitely showed for you in the 78, finishing well ahead of the rest of the field. So definitely a good call from you there. You got any shout outs you want to make tonight with the win?
Yes, first and foremost, a huge shout out to Cam Patterson. As soon as that race ended, he came right in my chat, congratulated me. We talked about the race, and we had a really nice discussion. So huge shout out to him, especially after such a disappointing ending for him. That he was such a good sport, so respectful. I have the utmost respect for him and hope to race him for a championship. But I gotta shout you out for broadcasting. I know you always put on a great show. My mama, she was watching, and the big one for tonight, Grace and her entire family surrounding the TV watching me. I got a video of the whole entourage watching, cheering me on, so I cannot appreciate you guys enough. I really hope you enjoyed it, and tune into another one sometime.
Absolutely. A couple of things to note. I really enjoy the paint. It was fun to switch to you on the camera and just go, sorry! So
yeah,
that
I had
was
that one,
definitely fun.
that paint ready for this. I had that one ready for this track.
Yeah, absolutely. It turned out to be a pretty clean race. Only 3 cautions for incidents there. You came away with the win. And the other thing I wanted to mention, you know, we had 3 different drivers with 3 wins in this round. Cam Patterson, Shane Fuller, and yourself. My opinion is, and I might catch some heat from this from the other drivers, but I think this championship is going to come down to one of you 3, because you 3 have been, you know, the class of the field this season. If I had to pick the championship 4 right now, I think it's probably you, Shane, Cam, and Cody. And I think it's going to be a great battle whichever way it turns out, because y'all 3 are definitely fantastic drivers, and I can't wait to watch y'all battle for 4 more races.
Well, I definitely appreciate that. I've had a blast this season, coming in, getting to know everybody, getting to race with everybody, making some friends, and pissing some people off. It's been
all
a fun
part of
ride.
racing.
It definitely is, but it's been a fun ride. I hope to close out the final 4 races of the season with some momentum, some consistency, and maybe walk out of Miami with a championship. That'd be pretty cool.
Alrighty, well, congrats on the win, and I will see you next week at whatever track we're going to end up at. Watkins Glen, so that's going to be a blast. How are your road course skills? I can't remember Chicago all that well.
Well, we don't talk about Chicago because I did make a pretty stupid mistake there, but I have been getting a lot of laps in some sports cars lately, so hopefully some of it translates over. I've always liked Watkins Glen even before I got more into road racing, so hopefully the laps turning right, I get a little more momentum carrying into next week, and maybe don't have to worry about the next 2 races after that if I get lucky.
Well, I won't put too many spoilers out there, but you know how good that 38 car is at the oval. I think he might even be better than that when right turns are involved, so it might be a challenge for the rest of the field, but I'm sure you'll definitely do your best to put up a fight there.
I'll try my very best. Maybe he'll step over the pit line again. We'll see what happens.
Absolutely, as it showed tonight, anything can happen, but congrats on the win once again, Mr. Mark Parkhurst.
Thank you. I'm going to go celebrate and then take a shower because I don't smell very good right now.
All right, well, you have a good night, man.
Thank you, you too.
That's going to do it for us tonight. Logan Fischischen says, I got dragged down before I could say it. Go Bills. I don't know, man. The record ain't too good this year, but I do got to say, go Panthers. Bryce Young has been playing with some swag here recently. But anyways, as we always do, we're going to close this sucker out with some jams and rewatch Mark burn it down before we end the stream tonight. Thank you guys for tuning in. I see there is still a good amount of people tuned in. make sure once again you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. It really has a chance to get the streams out in front of a new audience. Maybe we can really get something going here. So definitely appreciate everybody watching. Once again, have a good night. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next Thursday at Watkins Glen.